Okay, we are going to talk about materials within Vizrt 5, and we are in the classic render mode because within the classic mode, these basic materials are found within the asset view and the M tab. I have a folder set up here with several materials, and you can see that it represented by these icons here. And basic materials are needed to add depth to any 3D object within Vizrt 5 within the classic render mode. So here with this icosahedron and my material icons, all I need to do is drag this up onto the scene tree or onto that container or object, and it colorizes that container. And you can see that we can quickly replace the color by simply dragging a new one on here. Now I'm going to go into my icosahedron, I'm going to turn the smooth off, and now we can start to see some depth within these materials. As I scale this up and rotate it, you can see how the material is now affected. If you want to create a new material, you can just come down here and select Create New Material, and you can give it a name. We'll give it a name Red, and what happens is that it creates a white icon, so you can either double click it right here to enter the editor, or you can drag it up onto the scene tree into your container and click on it that way and edit it this way. Within here, either option, you have four choices. You have your ambient color, and the ambient color is the color which is not hit by any direct light. So we can come in here and choose what we want for our ambient color. We also have a diffuse color, and the diffuse color is the object's normal lighting condition under normal conditions. And then we have a specular choice, so we can come in here and choose a color for specular as well. And specular is showing the light that's coming from a particular direction, so we can choose a color for that. And then finally we have an emissive color here, which we can select as well. An emissive color is produced by an object's natural glow. Now in each of these we have our color slider, which we can slide our little object around here. We have a color wheel, which we can slide around here to choose the color. And then down here, we also have the option for HSV, RGB, a hex, or even a pick. So we can come and choose the pick and then roll around our user interface to choose a particular color. So if you know the code, you can choose the hex code. Also with the RGB and HSV, you have your RGB. Also with the RGB and HSV, you have your values over here on the right that you can simply type in if you know the values. And again, you have your slider here, which you can change the color as well. There's also a shininess. Shininess defines how spread out this light area is. And there's also an alpha, so if we can adjust the transparency within the material setting as well. Once you have that new material, and if you want to save it, you can just slide it down into the M tab. You can overwrite that color that we had originally named, or you can give it a new name. We'll just overwrite it. It will warn you. We hit yes, and now we have that new color. If you want to drag a color or get rid of the color on the container, you simply drag that to the trash can. We can drag that material back on. If you want a flat color, then there's a little icon next to the properties window in this column here. You can simply turn that off, and now it creates a flat color and shows you no depth on that 3D object. Lastly, when you have multiple containers here, materials will overwrite depending on a hierarchy. So as we group our containers here, we come down and switch out our containers. So we have two icosahedrons. We place one blue on there. Now if we come up and place a blue on the topmost container and get rid of our other two containers, we have one material on the topmost group as opposed to two materials on each individual container. However, if we do drag a new material onto those individual containers, the new materials will override the topmost container.